to something that happened last night, showing you how thought transmission works, not exactly how, because I didn't care about the how. I just had an end in mind. So the end occurred, but it might not have been exactly how I imagined. The bridge of incidents to get to that how might not have been exactly how I imagined, but it just happened. Listen and listen closely and see if you can ascertain in this what I did to make this occur. Because I didn't make it occur. It was just my consciousness made manifest. I had 2 conversations last night that were based on 2 thoughts I'd had a few days ago, 2 separate thoughts. The first thought was I was watching the football. There was the grand final in Australia and there were 2 football teams playing, and I missed the first half because I was doing a job interview. And the second half I watched, and I was perplexed at the end when they were giving the awards to all the football players that literally every single one of these footballers had the same haircut. And they all had this fluffy on top with a mullet in the back and really shaved sides like this. And I was like, have they done this as a joke or something? Is this an actual haircut that young kids are doing now? And I had this thought, oh my God, I bet you this person that I'm thinking about who I was with last night, son, will come home with that haircut. Imagine that kid, that 15-year-old kid with this haircut. I bet you he'll come home with that. We started having a conversation about it last night. We're talking about the football. I said, what about those haircuts? He goes, you won't believe it, blah, blah, blah. His son came home with that haircut the other day. We'd never had a conversation about it. He was none the wiser that this kid was ever going to cut his hair like this. He'd never seen this haircut before. He goes, what's it even called? We went and looked it up. He goes, I think it's got a name. It's called the Fluffy Edgar, or the Edgar, right? This haircut. But I had the imaginal thought, just a fleeting thought, I bet you that kid will come home with this haircut. Imagine that kid. Imagine that kid. So what I'd done was I had imagined the image of that child with that haircut in my brain. And I distinctly remember imagining him with the haircut. And the way he described him coming home with it was exactly the haircut and the way I'd imagined it in my head. And he goes, oh, it's like this with a bowl, like he's put a bowl over his head and he's just cut it and then it's all missing and then there's a mullet. And I was like, that's in my head how I imagined it. Now, did I have to exactly give him the thought and exactly send it? No. What did I do there? I imagined a child with a haircut in my brain. I had an imaginal activity in my mind of that thing. Then that eventuated because those thoughts were now out here, sent to the child and sent to my person I'm talking to. And so that child felt compelled to come home with the haircut after this football match. Out of the blue, without permission by this parent.